Hey there YouTube! After the morning's big, heavy, philosophical video, I feel inclined to do something just a wee bit more frivolous. I have another toy to review, another Transformer, yes, and I suppose really to lend my Transformers reviews a wee bit of variety, I should review a shit Transformer. Unfortunately, the toy I'm going to be reviewing today is not shit at all. In point of fact, this guy is fast becoming one of, if not my absolute favourite Transformer. He is so much fun to have in the hand, to disassemble and put back together again. You know what I should do, really? I should do that shitty Revenge of the Fallen Mixmaster that I threw around here somewhere. You know, I cannot be arsed with it. I am not ever touching that toy again. I am not transforming it. You want a review of Revenge of the Fallen Mixmaster? It's shit. There you are. But no, this guy who I'm going to be reviewing today, he is a toy that I've wanted for a very long time. In fact, he's one of the toys that I intended to pick up last year at Auto Assembly, but unfortunately couldn't find. I found a very cheap example of him going on eBay, and it was a case of buy it now, buy it now, buy it now. Had to have him. He's an interesting piece, actually. He's completely unique. You remember the Duocons from Generation 1? The Duocons were toys that consisted of two distinct vehicle modes that came together to form an approximation of a robot mode. That's about as fair as you can be to them. They were shocking toys, actually. In fact, wouldn't it be great if they did a modern Duocon, if they did like a Universe or Generations Battle Trap or Flywheels and actually made it work, made the Duocon thing good? That would be wonderful. Oh yeah, I'd love to see that. Anyway, this guy I suppose you could describe as a Triocon. He is a Transformer that consists of three distinct modes, none of which transform into robots themselves, but they all combine together to form the robot mode. They're all the same character. I am referring, of course, to Beast Wars 2 Magmatron, and I will be giving a character bio of him, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I get to his robot mode, which I will be doing last, because his robot mode, fuck me purple, it is sublime. So, these are his three components in no particular order. This is his Quaco Atlas component. At least I think it's a Quaco Atlas. I'm sure Michael, G-Wolf2, will set me straight if it's not. You see, each of Pterosaur's components refers to a particular environment. This is the air, sky environment mode. There's a land mode and there's a sea mode. He's basically a jack of all trades. But yes, this is Quaco Atlas component. It's a really lovely, distinct little toy. Absolutely no indication at all of the other modes. Apart, perhaps, from these missiles that are attached to the wings. But those are completely incidental. It's a really nice, solid little toy. The plastic is great. He's got a little gimmick. You can pull his tail, and his wings flap. How cute is that? It looks like he's having a fit. But yeah, he's really good, actually. Considering that he's part of a combiner and he's just a component, he is really cool. There's no mechanical detailing, hardly any indication of the other modes, and his articulation is brilliant. His articulation is actually better than the original Beast Wars Pterosaur, which was an individual toy. It wasn't even a combiner or anything like that. Just a normal Transformer. His articulation is actually better, and he looks very cool. Lovely little toy. Now, next, I fucking love this thing. It's such a weird and wonderful piece of work, and such an odd alternate mode for a Transformer. This is the Elasmosaurus component, which is obviously his aquatic mode. And Jesus, look at that neck. That's epic, isn't it? I don't think there's I think he holds the record for being the Transformer with the longest neck, and certainly with the most neck joints. I mean, look at that thing. It's so well articulated. And again, although the body arguably consists entirely of panels, there's very little indication that this is actually a transformer. Very, very little indication that it transforms at all. It's lovely. It's unusual, and you have to wonder what this mode does when he transforms and he's nowhere near an ocean. I mean, does it just sort of flop there and flop about gasping for want of being in the ocean? One must assume so. But either way, that is great. It is a lovely mode. I don't think there's anything quite like this in all of Transformers. There's detail all over him. He's gorgeous plastic. I mean, oh god, those of you who are plastic fans, and I know many of you are, this guy's plastic is gorgeous. There's not a flimsy part on him. He's really good quality. Also, like the Quaco Atlas mode, he has a little gimmick. You move the back flippers and the front flippers move. Again, it's kind of redundant but kind of fun at the same time. Lovely, lovely, lovely mode. I think it's fantastic, quite frankly. And finally, we have the land mode, which is this guy, which I believe it's not a Tyrannosaurus. It's definitely not a Tyrannosaurus Rex. In fact, I think it's an approximation of another bipedal dinosaur predator. I think is it an Allosaurus? It could be an Allosaurus, or it could be oh, I can't remember its name now. It could be basically any number of generic bipedal dinosaur predators. It could be any of them, but it's very, very lovely, very, very well designed indeed. It does have a little issue really with the arms. The arms look, well, for fear of offending people, I won't say what the arms look like, but it looks kind of ridiculous. It looks impotent, to say the least. It's very, very silly. But considering that, again, that it's part of a combiner, yeah, there's a lot of robot kibble there. Lots of robot kibble on the back of his legs. But I don't mind that. These mechanical details actually look rather nice. They look like just almost like battle damage or like exposed internal mechanisms, which is actually rather cool. Again, like all of the others, the detail on this guy, you can't see on this camera, you can't really appreciate it, but the sculpted detail on his hide, it's all over the place. There are wrinkles and scars and musculature. It's absolutely gorgeous. He also has firing missile. If you put a missile in his mouth and open it, it fires. Don't care about firing missiles personally. In fact, I fucking hate them on Transformers. But it's a gimmick. It's there. Worth a mention. Very, very rigid tail on this guy as well. And you'll see for why later. But yes, those are Magmatron's 3 components. They're all lovely toys in their own right, actually, and it's such an interesting dynamic for a Transformer to have distinct and separate modes. I kind of like that idea. Now, there is another mode. Before I get to the robot mode, there is another mode. Well, it's kind of beyond description. You'll see exactly what I mean in a moment. I seriously hope you're ready for this. I mean, just what is it? What is that? Where did that come from? What twisted, obscene imagination dreamt that fucker up? Look at the state of it. Charitably, some people call this a Chimera mode. I've heard it referred to by some much more colourful and less charitable monikers. The HUMPASAURUS is a favourite. Personally, I call it the Triple Dinosaur Gangbang mode, which is precisely what it looks like. It looks like all 3 modes are involved in some sort of hideous sexual experiment and got stuck. It's bizarre, it's unique. You get the full package with this guy. This is one of the reasons why I love him so much. Yeah, I love this mode. It's so obscenely bizarre and terrible. But you know what? The way it goes together is quite clever. It could have worked. I can see what they were trying to do. It just didn't quite mesh properly. Oh, it's fantastic. This is what you get with Magmatron, alright? You get the whole package. You get a great character, you get an interesting dynamic for a Transformer, and you get comedy value as well. And even the existence of this kind of shit, this shitty half-assed mode, doesn't detract from his appeal at all. Sometimes I display him like this because I just like looking at it. It makes me smile. It's so awful. Look at it. Just take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just take a moment to drink in, to wallow in the obscenity of it. How did this get past the standards at Hasbro? I just don't know. How did someone not say, it looks like they're fucking? It looks like one of those embarrassing National Geographic documentaries that you don't want to watch when the kids are around. There it is. Magmatron's HUMPASAURUS mode. Ironically, a fairly good counterpoint to the robot, which is superb. I guarantee you the robot mode is absolutely superb. But this, well, it just has to be seen to be believed, doesn't it? Right. After that comic interlude, I think it's time for the robot mode. I think the expression you're probably looking for is OMG. I mean, the other modes of this guy have their charms, particularly the shitty HUMPASAURUS mode. But this robot is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. For me, this robot mode rivals aesthetically and mechanically the Beast Wars 2 Galvatron, which I reviewed the other day. This guy definitely gives him a run for his money. It is a magnificent robot mode, and the fact that it's composed out of multiple components and yet feels like a complete coherent bot, that for me is the mark of a decent combining Transformer. Once it's all together, it feels like a whole bot and not like something made of bits. This thing, it's so solid. It's so solid it feels like a whole Transformer. It is gorgeous. And you know what I love? I love the way it has bits of the Beast mode all over it. Usually, yeah, that would be kibble and it would be something you'd have to accommodate or forgive. Not so on this guy. The Elasmosaurus head coming up over his shoulders, the Quaco Atlas wings coming off of his head, the half of the Elasmosaurus as a shield on his arm. It all works. It is beautiful. They have gone to town on this guy. It's the kind of Transformer that I don't think we'll be seeing the like of again. Quite frankly, at least not for a very, very long time. This quality of Transformer went with the Beast era, quite frankly. This particular aesthetic, and it's this kind of Transformer that it reinforces the fact that the Beast era is my very, very, very favourite era of the Transformers. These toys are phenomenal. This is one of the best combining toys you are ever going to get. He's got a shield, he's got a gorgeous sword. He's just wonderful in every which way. And look at this. Look at this. The mechanical kibble from the Allosaurus land carnivore mode sort of comes down and becomes these gorgeous, I suppose you could call them techno-organic slippers almost. His feet are a combination of that kibble and the Beast Mode feet, and it looks superb. It's a completely redundant detail. They didn't have to do it. Just like the original Beast Wars Megatron, his feet could have just been the Tyrannosaurus, the Allosaurus feet, and it would have been fine. But no, they bothered to make it distinct. This guy is one of, if not my absolute favourite Transformer. He is superb. Character, Magmatron. He's one of the great Predacon generals, like Megatron, Deathsaurus, and Galvatron. Like the rest, he is a decorated general. He's led countless armies and wars against the Maximals. Unlike the others, he's held in good stead by both sides. He is a being of great equanimity, poise, and eloquence, to the point whereby he actually enjoys a seat of political power in the Maximal-dominated Beast era of Cybertron. The Maximals, although they don't necessarily trust him, they do respect him quite a lot. But, like Megatron, like Galvatron, he has ambitions of overthrowing the Order and reinstating the honour of the Predacons, not to mention their power. Unlike the others, he's a bit more patient and a bit more considered, and also he's not insane, which is nice. I'm sure you'll agree that's a bonus. He has a fair deal of respect for his soldiers. He also seems, although he is interested in restoring the Predacons to power, he also seems to have Cybertron's best interests at heart ultimately. He just happens to believe that Cybertron would be better off under Predacon rule, that's all. I think Beast Wars Dinobot would have got on with him a lot better than he gets on with Beast Wars Megatron, to be honest. Because like Dinobot, Magmatron is not only sane and quite considered, he has a sense of honour. He actually does operate under a sense of honour and has a respect for his enemies as well as his allies. That is Magmatron in a nutshell, and that is the Magmatron toy. It is splendid. It is absolutely splendid. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. And even the phenomenally awful and bizarre triple dinosaur gangbang mode, nothing bad to say about it at all. It's wonderful. It just adds another element to what would have been a fabulous toy without it. Didn't need it, doesn't need it. You don't even need to acknowledge it. Just buy it for this, and for the fact that he is a Triocon, and for the fact that he is Magmatron. It is wonderful. And if you're a Transformers fan and you don't have this, or if you're one of those Transformers fans who is a little sort of about the Beast era, pick this up. Oh God, I cannot tell you how much pleasure you will get out of this toy.